Can you hear me now? That is so weird. Did you hear anything that I said the whole time I was talking? Oh gosh. Is it working now? Do you hear me? I'm relying on Soccer Top to make sure this is working proper. The speaker, the microphone is buzzing, but there seems to be no sound going through apparently. Because now it went and then now it's not working anymore. Okay, now they can. Okay, so you can hear me. That's the main thing. The microphone is buzzing like it's supposed to. I hope it's working. So let's try that again. We're going to start from the top. Sorry for those that are getting spammed by my streaming notices. Okay, so let's try this again. Here we are, December 2nd. Again, it's an early show because we're having maintenance this afternoon. And I just don't want to miss the chance of streaming because after the 1 p.m. time, you know, I usually have a window of about an hour, maybe two, that I am confident that I could be there for the tours. But after that, it gets a little iffy again. So because the maintenance is happening right in around in that window, I'm having to do the show earlier. So apologies to those that normally expect me to be on in the afternoons, and if they don't catch it or whatever, that's just the unfortunate thing. And due to the reason because I'm having to reschedule quite a bit lately, I'm just going to move the Wednesday tours to Wednesday mornings. I'm not going to set it for a specific time because my mornings are pretty shifty when it comes to scheduling. So it may be like as early as 8 or it might be as late as 11. It really depends on my personal schedule, which I really can't make it firm on a specific hour like I can in the afternoons. Which is unfortunate, I know, because there's a lot of my regular viewers that have a certain time that they can count on me being on, but that's just how it's going to have to go because while Carbine might not keep the maintenance on a specific time like they are now, sort of, you know, maybe it becomes less and less and it's not much of a problem. I can't count on that, so I want to be able to kind of be consistent. So we'll still have the tours on Wednesday, but from now on we're going to be just expect it, you know, in the morning sometime, probably between 8 and 11, somewhere in there. That's the only thing specifically I want to mention. Something I didn't mention earlier when we were trying to stream and the sound wasn't working is there are currently two housing competitions going on. One is for entity only. That would be the Black Dagger Society Winterfest Housing Extravaganza, I think is what they're calling it. They just posted it this last couple of days ago, I think. There's some specific rules. They're not doing like personal tours like some have done in the past. Where the person that's wanting to show off their house can actually take the judges around. So read up on that as far as what you need to do, like maybe your house has a jumping puzzle or something. Read about their criteria on that so that you make sure that you make it accessible to them, even if you're not there on the plot. As well, Venus Rising is doing a housing competition. And it's open to both regions and both factions. Now, Black Dagger Society's one is for entity only, but it is open to both Exile and Dominion on that side. But Venus Risings is open for basically everybody as long as you're on the main entity server and the main Jabbit server. I think most of the details are in the thread now as far as the criteria that we'll be looking for. Uh, I'll just let you guys read that. I'm not going to go over it, anything specific. But I think officially the thread opens for submissions on the 10th. So be sure and check that out to see what exactly we're going to be looking for, when you can start signing up your home and all that kind of stuff. Both threads are linked on my Twitch channel page. It's at the bottom of my resources section. You'll see the links right there. So if you don't visit the official forums that often, that's your quick and easy way to find it rather than having to dig through other posts to get to it. So as I said, we're on Duck Tour Frankenstein's house. This is Exile side. I wasn't able to find a lot of Dominion ones. There's a couple that I have on my list, but I'd like to get a few more in the bag before I go to that side, because normally they would be scheduled for today. But we're on Exile side, and this is Duck Tour Frankenstein's, Dr. Frankenstein's lab plot. Now, Soccer Top's going to have to suffer through this again, because I've already kind of previewed a little bit of it, and then unbeknownst to me, my sound was off. So now I'm constantly checking it to make sure the microphone is still buzzing away. But as you'll notice, this isn't a particularly Winterfest plot. There's no like Winterfest decorations that I know of, but it is a winter-esque plot, and that's what I'm really looking for. Because not everybody wants to get in all cheery for the holidays and have lots of different colors and protostar stuff. They're just looking for a nice winter landscape type of plot, theme, whatever, and this is an ideal example. We did go into the Ostoon house earlier, myself and Soccer Top, but I can tell you it's roughly empty, but I'll go ahead and show it again for those that may not have seen the inside of the Ostoon house before. Something I forgot to mention is the way that they covered up the entrance. Again, it looks to be a combination of Exile building blocks and the hoverboard, hover park pieces. Again, I want to note how much I love the landscaping, all of the little details of the extra bushes and flowers and little stones here and there, and even the trees, how they're turned and sized and planted in the rocks. I'm horrible at landscaping. I've said that many times, and it's true. So I always admire those that are able to pull off a nice landscape and make it look natural, so it's not just constantly the same piece turned in the same direction, the same size, and all that. So here we have a little bit where it looks like an exile is protecting his treasure trunk from some invading Dominion. What that has to do with Dr. Frankenstein, I'm not sure, but there you go. As well, the pathway here. I've seen a lot of people use different kinds of stones for their pathways in the past. I myself have used the makeshift bulletin board. There's like the chimney, I think it was like the Draken chimney, the back of it has a lot of stones. I think the lock one has some. The new Draken fences, those have a lot of nice stones, as long as you don't mind the occasional skull showing up, because I think that's part of the motif on there. There's a few lamp posts that I think have some stones in them, and I know there's some fence pieces, I don't know if it's Exile or what, but there's some stones in those too. But a lot of people have been waiting for some flat stones that they can use for pathway. Now we do have the stepping stones that come from the Starcom reputation vendor, but the issue I think a lot of people have with them is the decor piece itself. The stones are at varying elevations. So it's great for like if you're landscaping a type of an upward pathway along some rocks that goes into like a mountain or some kind of water feature or something, those work great for that. But when it comes to walking paths, typically most people don't want their character, as they walk over something, they don't want the character bouncing, like with the camera view moving dramatically. You can see as I walk over this one, it's still relatively smooth, even though it's, you know, a little uplifted, but it's not such a big elevation change that it makes the camera view go up and down. And so with the stepping stone decor, with that elevation issue, usually people will have to sink it in, and then it ends up only showing like one of the stones in the arrangement, which is kind of, like I said, it works for some landscaping things and others not so much. So these new gray and sandstone stones, a lot of people have been utilizing them in various ways. This one just uses one big stone for each kind of bit. I've seen others really go meticulous and shrink them down to small and make a really like a little cobblestone path. It's more decor that way, but it really looks pretty awesome when it's done. So we're going to go into the Ocean Home. Again, this is achieved by reaching a certain cosmic point tier. I think it's 6. I'm not sure about that. I think it's 6. Of course, they got the new NPCs here. I guess the Ecosy's trying to get in. It's very spacious. There's no doubt about that. There's plenty of like extra spacing and everything, but for me personally, I think it's divvied up in a way that would make it kind of awkward to use for a lot of possibilities. I mean, I guess someone more creative than me could probably come up with many uses for it, but it seems like it's overly complex as far as all these little cubicle areas that they have. You can see this is not hardly decorated. It's just posters and a couple of decor pieces. Being that it's Dr. Frankenstein's lab, I assume this will eventually be the laboratory, but I couldn't say what kind of plans they have and how they will approach that. I envision that if it was me doing it, this would probably be where you know, Frankenstein's monster would be up and lightning would be coming down and striking and then yada yada yada. But for anyone that hasn't seen this interior, it really is huge. So, you know, if you're into coming up with fanciful ideas for this, I don't know just how much of it changes when you alter like the walls and floors and stuff. I don't know what exactly it looks like in different remodeling looks, but it's certainly impressive, that's for sure. Just something I probably wouldn't use. Over here is the Alpha Sanctum stones. If you haven't spotted where these come from yet, it's probably just because you haven't finished the Alpha Sanctum instance. I think it's an expedition. It's one of those that I think it scales to however many members are in your party. So it is soloable. I did that. But I think it's just a level 50 thing only. I'm not for positive on that. But what happens is when you complete it, you get one of these directly into your inventory, and then you're told that you have unlocked the rest of them. So they're all purchasable from the housing vendor once you complete the Alpha Sanctum instance. Here we have a little lop shrine with the noisy lop. They're cute, but I wish they didn't come with so much noise. I just like some quiet ones that I could use. Just like a lot of the NPCs, some of the new ones that are coming up, they're nice and all, but I don't like them all with the guns and stuff. I'd rather have just like the galactic shoppers in the Fade. I just want some. They don't even have to be actually talking or anything. Just standing there would be fine. I prefer the quiet ones because they're more versatile as far as how you could use them. If you're wondering how this plot has this elevated ground, this little slant, I believe that's the magic of a massive umbrella tree that's just been kind of inset. The way that works is the bottom of it, of the tree itself, if you flip it over and use that as the top surface, rather than looking like the bottom of a tree, the roots and everything, it actually reflects or mirrors what the ground cover looks like below. So if you have your plot ground set to desert, it'll look like a big massive pile of desert. I don't know if that was actually an intended kind of effect when the developers put that particular item in, but it's become such a mainstream kind of use of it that I think if the developers changed how it works, a lot of people would be upset. So it's just kind of become a thing that if you want elevated ground in this way, that's the way to get it. I don't know the name of this piece. I think it's one of the new taurine pieces that you can get from the random rare mobs in certain zones. But yeah, that's most of the property. Over here we have a little Osun camp. Again, I don't know where these come from. I assume a dungeon that I don't do, or possibly raid stuff. But they're pretty impressive. I think I've seen the two people, but not the little doggies. Looks really weird looking. Creepy. But it's a little Osun camp, kind of follows with the Osun themed house here. But the main thing that I really like, besides the landscaping, I don't know, Soccer Top, it could be. Soccer says it might be the reward from a coin store, and it's very possible it could be. But besides the landscaping, and there's a better shot of the little teleporter cover, is the little village here. And this is where we kind of left off the first time when I thought my microphone was working right. Is the little houses. Now, as I said before, they're kind of basic, but I like a lot of the details in them. But first off, you'll notice that the roof looks like a combination of cover part pieces. This is, I think it's the edge something or other. It's one of my favorite because it's the round and it's got that nice curve. I've used it in many different ways. And then the flat one, it gives the roof that pointed peak, but it's not like your typical steepled roof, which is nice. I like things that are different. The chimneys are cylinders with, or tubes, it could be tubes, with, it looks like domes, capped with domes. And I like the little touch of the snow at the top. A lot of people wouldn't think to put those in, and I'm sure they would have added that to the roofing, but because of the thinness and likely the items that they used to make the snow covered bits, it just wouldn't work right. Because I suspect that's either like the top of one of the trees, just like these bushes, they're all tree parts. I imagine it's either a tree or one of the snow-covered stones is being used for that. And you just couldn't do that here because the rest of it would show through. But here you have like this nice little porch and the windows, and of course we have another noisy lop over here with the lop snowman. And then we have another little back porch area. With an NPC, lovely little faux door, just metal-edged rectangle pieces with staircase landings and a hammer for the handle. Just little details to kind of say, okay, this is a little house. I mean, even the garden here along the side, they carefully put in all those little habanero bushes and the rusty fencing. And it's the same for each little house, but they've changed the details up enough where it makes them personal. Like instead of the habanero bushes here with the fencing, they've used stones for the little garden here. And use the, I think it's the, what they're called, weeping cup flowers. And then got the one tall snowflower there. But, you know, they essentially have the same kind of pattern, but they changed up the details. And it's that kind of thing I like. You know, the door's made up the same, but they've changed the details here. You have a little mug on the railing here, and the flowers. The windows are even different. These are shuttered. These are not shuttered with little flower boxes. Change the window arrangement here. This one's got a little generator up top. Of course, you got the little town vendor. And then you have your final little house here. Now here's the, I guess it's the blacksmith. It's a clever way of using the welder, making it look like they're actually doing some kind of work here. I've got my welder and I just haven't found a use for it yet. One of these days I'll think of something. But she sits in my crate collecting dust for the moment. Here's another one. They've changed the door decoration again. A combination of the Exile lamp light, I think, and then a giant gear. Kind of, you know, this is the armorer's place, because he's got his swords and things like that. And of course, this one's just got some lined little bushes. It's just nice little bits. Here, they've even taken the trouble of putting snow toppings on the Draken fencing. Again, I'm pretty sure that's the top of these trees just sunk down, made smaller, and it works really well. It's a nice effect. So here you have, I guess this is the clock shop, toys and stuff. Interesting little doodads. Even there's a little dart sticking in the wall there. And then this cute little adorable wishing well. That's just, it looks like a metal crate, the handles on it, just showing a couple of round Draken fences for the well part itself. An exile floor or cylinder probably is to keep it round for the doors, and then a 2x4 to kind of give a divider to make it look like it, you know, it opens up. And then of course those edge pieces, it mirrors the edges of the ribs here, this part, and that's a good way to kind of tie in the architecture with different pieces sticking with it. Very cute little thing. And then of course you got the little corral, and again they've used the snow-topped trees to bring a little extra topping to the little haystack here. You can kind of see it sticking out there, but still, it's a pretty fun little deal. Some of it there as well. So that's Dr. Frankenstein's plot. Dr. Frankenstein's lab. Again, it's not Winterfest theme that I'm looking for. I'm looking for winter-esque types of builds. Just something snowy and things like that. Now, I know like the Black Dagger Society, they've already mentioned that your plot doesn't have to have snow on it to be considered for their competition. I think they're looking for, even if you're having like Christmas on the beach, or Winterfest on the beach, they would be happy to show that one off. But for me, for these tours, I'm looking for winter plots. So that was Dr. Frankenstein's. The next one is more along the lines of kind of holiday-ish, but it's still not fully decked out. It's just it's just too cute to pass up. Again, there's little things, there may be a lot more that they plan to add, but I think this place is adorable. This is Taslin Greenstuff's Healer's plot, the Protostar Ski Resort. It's a very unique idea. I haven't seen anybody else do this type of build. So while it's a lot of big open space, the details in the areas that they've really focused on are just precious. Yeah, that's true, Soccer, that not everybody has snow for Christmas because it's not the same season all the way around the world at the same time. So here you have, I guess it's like the ski lift ticket booth where you can sign up for your ride on the ski lift, and they've got a little snow lop as like the kiosk little decoration. And of course the kiosk itself is just, some Exile floors topped with that lovely little edge thing. That's a really good roof maker. And 2x4 for the countertop. Just lots of little details. I mean, they got the coins and the chair, a little flower in the coffee cup. Looks so excited to give tickets. So here we have the ski lift itself, and they've used, I think it's a proto solar panel, the hanging wires, sparking wires for the actual rail bit, I guess that's what it is, and I forget what this is called, and then ramps and couches for the little seats. It's a really cute little setup. I imagine it took a while to collect all these sparking wires though. Of course, they used to come from a challenge, so maybe they're purchasable somewhere. I haven't really paid attention. Come to the first little person, and they got their skis on already. The little proto guy. And of course, just a little up ahead, you see that the Chua is having some troubles here. He's done bonked off into the snow. But if you notice, I don't know if you can hear it really well, but there's actually a Skeech goodie bag sunk down below to give that muffled and that just kind of plays into the little scene of them being upside down in the snow. And Soccer Top confirmed, you can get the sparking wire from Mulgrave from the rep vendor. So if you're looking for a good way to make some kind of a wire kind of thing like this, that's, you know, if you're wanting like a little town with some old-fashioned like telephone lines and things, that would be definite way to do that. But I thought that was a clever use of combination of items. You got the Tua decor NPC, the skis, and then the little muffled noises of that Skeech goodie bag down below to make it sound like it's actually muffled in there. So a cute little ski lift there. And then if you got the other little shop where you can get some souvenirs and things. Here we have some little sleighs and additional skis. With these, they've actually added in the little latches for your feet. And again, it's just the wires, the hanging wires. Over here, we have a little action shot of some plushies riding down the slopes, taking a little bit of a, catching some air there on their sled. Oh gosh, it's cute. It's one of those things you can easily miss because if you're like way over here, you might not see that that's there because it gets kind of invisible almost the further away you are. That's definitely something. Pay attention to those little things. Over here we have some Protostar guys. It looks like they're preparing to rescue the one that's landed in the tree, and got the little medical cot ready for the poor little skier, and then the other one's going up to rescue him. Over here we have a little little diner lodge kind of thing. Come in, get some hot cocoa or a nice little snack. Got this cute little area where you can sit. I like the little menus. You see those on restaurant things. You know, sometimes they're give the special of the day or whatever, and that's what they've done with these. That's a cute little idea. Just kept it simple, but it's still cute. I like that. I liked also the little door using the metal dividers and just sunk them in so all you see is the lighted part. And of course, the cabin itself is made out of green logs. Parts of hover park pieces and glass. Neat little idea if you're looking for something like that. Built right on top of a rock, and there's even a waterfall back here. You can see. Over here we have a skating rink. So you have one where the NPCs are actually dragging their little noisy lot behind them. And they've used 2x4s, I think, for, or no, maybe metal planks, it looks like, because they're kind of curvy and a little lopsided almost, for their skis. Notice that they got the little snow caps on their mannequins there, but the sled is cute. Metal planks for the blades. Looks like Exile pillars. For the braces, decking for the main part of it, and then a little curved or half curved wall for the other little bit. And of course that's a noose that they're using for the rope. Not so easy to come by. The ice itself, I'm pretty sure it's probably tiny blue crystals. That's what I've used for mine, and it looks similar. The little aura effect, that's the bottom of a hovering medical cot, just sunk in to kind of give it some extra little bit. Over here, the Grumple's having trouble. Apparently he doesn't handle ice very well, so he's got a stabilizer using a chair as a way to kind of keep upright on his ski. Let's see, over here we have a holiday tree with a variety of decorations. We've got plushies, masks, pumpkins, balloons, lights. There's even a skull apparently. Some Jack Shade stuff found its way onto the tree. Kind of hard to see what's all on there. Looks like the dead escape windows interlaced to make the nice little star there. I'm not sure what that is up there. It's really hard to see. Definitely lots of plushies and such. And of course this is where you can get access to the bunker. Now I haven't been down here, so I have no idea what's inside. Apparently nothing. Maybe they have plans to add something special. I don't know. It'll be something I'll have to keep an eye on. And if it turns out to be pretty interesting, then I'll definitely revisit at some point. This is one of the new, I think it's the one from the World Boss things, it's the Draken Emporium. I've actually got one myself. I've even put it on the plot that I have now, and I just don't know what to put in it. Kind of creepy, but I needed something else a little different than just my taco vendor and things like that. So here's the actual resort itself. This is a case where I think these are the bottoms of the comfortable Dominion bed, I think. I can't remember exactly, but I want to say that that's what that looked like down below. It could be something else. A lot of, when you get a decor piece, and even in the previews, usually they only show the sides. You don't get to see the top or the bottom very well. But when you get a new decor piece, it's always fun to kind of turn it around and look at it from all angles, because you might find some really interesting colors, shapes, patterns, and be able to use them in different ways than what you normally would think of doing. And this is a good example. Here it's being used as a pathway. Over here we have another example of a little custom-built well. This one uses cylinders, multiples of those to kind of give the thickness that you need. And then they just left it pretty much where it looks like it's frozen down inside. So they didn't really have to do any kind of building the doors or anything like that. Pillars for the main beams, staircase landings for the little roof, and then the little contraption that I guess you would wind the rope on, and everything is just a beer tap. How I have one of those decor, and it's just never found its way into being used, but this is a good way to use it. As far as soccer thinks it might be the upside down Draken fence. I don't think so. I think the Draken fence has that rocky and the skulls on all surfaces of it. So I'm pretty sure that's not what this is, but it could be something else. But if I'm wrong, that's possible too. But always when you get a new item, check all of the edges and size and everything. You never know what you're gonna get out of it. There's a small little graveyard. Notice they've been able to modify the come as is stones by adding little busts on top of it. This one's slightly off center, but not too big of a deal. This happens to be something I noticed. This is a little shrine area. It's one of the new touring pieces. It's a really lovely piece, but it's awfully hard trying to figure out ways to use it other than as it comes. I've tried, and just because it moves and, you know, certain pieces you may or may not want showing, it's just kind of awkward to use it in various ways. But it's a really pretty piece. I love the colors and just the look of it. It's really nice. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of quickly bypass to make sure there's nothing else outside. Yeah, there's a little swing set here. Now, I know it's a corpse, which is kind of disturbing, but a lot of people have really taken to the Chimera one because it's, I think, the least gory and dead looking of the corpses. There's a few like little blood marks and stuff, but if you can get past that, I've seen people use that as pets. They'll set out a little bowl and a little pillow and then have that cat laying on it, and it looks really cute and adorable. But it's the only one of the corpses, I think, that looks the least gross. And so they've got this one just laying up in the tree, and then down below is just a little adorable bench swing made out of white picket fence pieces, chains, and then for a little orney touch, they've got the pillars there. Then you've got the fountain, of course, and this takes a lot of work trying to figure out how you want it to set up. I've seen a lot of people using multiples of these water pieces to get this look, and it's definitely not easy. But we've had fountains for a while now, but just none of them with actual moving water. And now that we have the waterfall pieces, that's really changed up a lot. The only thing is it's pretty noisy. But they've used a combination of the winding rivers for the bottom part here, and then multiple waterfalls to get all of these different tiered water bits going on. Can't imagine how many pieces that is. We've seen some really nifty ideas though. I think last time we went touring, it was one that had like a basin of water, and just the swirls was just crazy. So let's go into the ski resort itself from the front. So first you see, again, it's a really lovely combination of items. They've really focused on a lot of the details, the shapes that they're putting together, the textures. So you have the hover park pieces for the roof, and notice they've chosen the one that's hollow, so it kind of gives it a rippled look. Decking pieces for a lot of the walls, 2x4s for some of the trim, protostar balconies for the balconies. This is an actual hover park piece, the edge, that we've seen several times now. For decoration, they've used the Exonite blocks to give elevation to the little stairway here, the steps. And then to kind of really liven up the doorway, they've used multiples of these archways, I guess. So you have the Exile one, looks to be like the Chua one, the Draken one, and then the Exile one repeated. It's just over and over, and they get that nice layered decoration. Really accents the door, makes it look nice. So inside we go. Here you have a nice little floor decoration. It looks to be different types of framed glass inset so that you just see the frame. And then they've used different types, so you may have one that's metal, one that's riveted, one that's wood, and then added the extra, they've kept with the motif of the Exonite piece for that. Again, it looks mirrored here. You've got the blocks. The little couch looks familiar. It's a little hovery. I don't see any legs on it, but this is WildStar, so I guess that's not too out of the question. But it's just a hover park piece again. Piles and piles of pillows, and of course the Giggle Me Gatho. Reminder, if you haven't gotten this yet, or the Caroline Protostar microphone, be sure and grab those now. They're currently on the housing vendors for free. It doesn't cost a thing to get them, so if you want to get a few now, now's the time, because who knows if it changes later or if it's taken off completely, so you don't want to miss out on that. Notice the different kinds of window treatments. This one's just some glass laid in for a nice little pattern. And of course the fireplace here. The combination of the Draken fireplace, I think some different types of logs, and those pillars. I don't know what they're called, but it's something. I like the little wood holder. They finally found a different use for that that bull. So he's the holder of the wood. So upstairs we go. Well, let's take a look at the little back porch here. I love the doors. Again, a lot of glass, and it's just been layered in a certain way to give an appealing design. So some are right side, some are turned to make look like diamonds, and then they're overlapped. And when they're overlapped, some become frosted looking and others not so frosted. It's just a nice way of adding some decoration. And in a cheap way, because the glass doesn't really cost too much. Same way here, they've done the glass differently. They've made it so that it covers, but then they've gone above and beyond by making a little design out of it. Same way with here. Repeated it on the other side. This one looks a little bit more complex. But again, it's just the combination of layering, turning, and I don't even want to know how they worked this little design up for the decking pieces. That must have taken a while to get that design shaped to really work nicely. But it's a pretty design. It almost looks like a flower to me. The kitchen over here, very cute, but simple. Just a few key items. You've got the covered little vent here. The actual stovetop is a combination of the flat metal table. It looks like that Draken pedestal thing. Not sure really what it's called. And I don't know what all that is there. Got a lot of stuff going on there. But it's a really nice one. It's unique for sure. The sink looks to be a metal bow inset into, I'm pretty sure that's probably an arch, a 2 arch, and then boxed in with some 2x4s and Exile walls. Again, it looks like they're not fully complete. It looks like they're going to be adding some more cabinetry and stuff. It's still pretty cool. Either a dishwasher or oven, I'm not sure which this is supposed to be. It's made up of a Chua pillar for the handle and then the maintenance platform for the main part of it. Here's a little closer look at that window. How they've put in the designs. I'm sure that's like the corner pieces. And they just made that star design and then laid in the glass to fill it in. So really niftily done. So again, I'm sure this is going to be some kind of maybe a game room, bar room, bedroom, I don't know. And then the balcony, of course. Probably some lounge chairs, little table or something. The roof is interesting though. It's a really strange way of doing the roof. But it works for this particular little build. I like that. So that is Taslan Greenstuff's Healers plot. Greenstuff's Healers. Greenstuff's Healer. That's the last name. They're a protostar ski resort. Definitely, again, if you're on Jabbit-EU Exile side, it's worth a visit to see up close a lot of the details and of course any new additions to the build that they may add later on. Because I'm sure I'm catching a lot of these in the work in progress state because there's a lot of people that are preparing them for a lot of these housing contests that are going on. And then today's final, and I hope it works. Yes, is Johnny Alpha's place. Now, some of you, I think it's actually Ash. It's one of his alts. This is Battle on Hoth. Again, I'm not really looking for Winterfest plots. I'm just looking for Winter-esque plots. And the Battle of Hoth is definitely fits that. It's a snow scene. So, but if you're a Star Wars fan, this is the plot for you. It's definitely amusing to look at all of the little bits. It's not any one particular scene. I think it's a combination of different scenes to make this little plot. So as you go around, you'll notice different bits specifically from different parts of the movie. But I love the little combination of items to get the things that they wanted. Like you've got the sparking wire as firing the lasers. Hammers here, these are domes, the Chua-Tech arm, the Exile locked container. Looks to be a airtight container there. That's a Merg dynamite sticking out the side. Looks like a couple more hammers. That all fashions the gun. It's just funny how people can picture these items and think, oh, that'll work for this. That's a silver keg there. It's just really funny to watch, to see this stuff. Here's a, what is it called? An AT-AT? Is that what those are? I don't know what they are. So you have a dismantled one. It's been exploded and broken down, so they've had to show the interior. So I guess this is supposed to be the bad guy that they're talking to, saying, yeah, we've got everything under control here. It's pretty fun. But to be able to kind of break it down, again, they're using sparking wires to kind of simulate that that's been broken, little bits of fire, show that it's of no use anymore. There's a red moon vent, a hanging cable, again, the fire, a wall, reinforced retainer wall kind of thing. I'm not sure what this is. It looks like the top of a chimney. Just interesting little bits. Those are the Merc dynamite again. It's a different kind of dynamite. I don't know which one that is. See, he's trying to repair it. Oh gosh, and of course you got the big AT-ATs here. Just look at all the pieces. I mean, those are portal windows. See what else is here. You got the generator. It's really nicely done. I couldn't, I'm very non-mechanical, so I wouldn't have even dreamed of this bit. Now they're kind of hard to see, but the little, I guess those are what, TIE fighters or something? They're up there. I've seen a few of these, and I know he's built at least one or two on a different plot, and he's just decided to go full on Star Wars and bring it all to life here. Now, I imagine once he created one of these, he was able to just copy it over, but I don't know if he did that specifically. I imagine I would have done it that way. If I built one, then I just copy it over with the Katias and then call it good. Here's their little, I don't know what these are called, but it's the Rebellion side's little spaceships, where they're the ones that would shoot out the cables and wrap around the legs of the walking robot thingies. And but again, they're using the sparking wire for their little lasers. Looks like the ends of them are the quaint wind chimes. Looks like a Exile cryopod or something. Other part pieces even. That's a Chua shelf. No, that's an Exile shelf there. That's one of the Zapper guns. Pillars. I think that's an Exile fence post or lamp or something. Just a strange combination of pieces, but it works really well. There's no mistaking what that is. Here's the crashed one. Think of a Skywalker's one that crashes in the scene. It practically gets squashed by the walking doggies. You got like a whole little, battle caught in mid-scene. Start on this side with the buildings over here. I don't know what this, I guess this is like the generator thing. And then you've got the little cannon things. This one's been destroyed by a hit. This one's still firing and working as intended. Again, it looks like the quaint chime, the lamp, the gear lamp, tube or cylinder, and then the drooping wires. Now, I think these big mounds or plateaus or whatever you want to call them, I think those are the bottoms of the snow-covered trees. They just enlarged them and sunk them down in it, and so that's why it looks like these little plateaus. And then you got this little pathway where the guys are running around, trying to protect their little base here. And then you have the actual base. And now my husband calls this the boob gun, but it's like their big laser thing. I think it's the thing that they shoot to kind of clear the way for the ships or whatever. Escape ships. So here you have R2-D2 in all his glory. A lot of weird combination. I mean, he's got books and Looks like domes and hammer bits and tables and bowls. That's a bottle top. And it looks to be a red lantern inside. There's hammers for the side. Just a funny combination of things. I don't know how one would go about this saying, well, this looks like this, and I need something like that. And there you go. Here's, I guess this is what, an X-Wing? Is that what they're called? I don't know. I enjoy the Star Wars films, but I'm not like a major buff, so apologies if I'm getting the names of these things wrong. I think it's the X-Wing, because doesn't the wings kind of spread out and make like an X? I don't know. So this one's actually got the R2 sitting in it, and then you can see all the different parts. There's retainer walls. Those are the skinny waisted barrels. One of the Exile boxes or chests. Merc dynamite. Cryopod thing. And this is, I think it's a combination of an Osun emblem thing and a Dominion fence post, I think. Hard to tell. Here we have the little medical area for those that are getting injured outside. And then the meeting hall where they come and say, this is the weakness of the Death Star, so go boom boom and you're done. Like I said, it may be that they intend on adding more things here, but I think it's still pretty amazing just as it is. Now there is one final thing that we don't want to forget, and that is the hatch house that is located over here. And I think most that enjoy the Star Wars films will immediately know what this is. It is the little snow beast. I don't know what the name of it is. I know it's not wonton. I think the wontons are the ones that they ride, but I don't know what it's called. That's supposed to be, you know, what's his name? Skywalker stuck up in the ice, and that's his little lightsaber stuck in the snow. And then you got Mr. Abominable Snowman guy sitting over here snacking on a meal. And he's just made up of lots and lots of little WildStar plushies. I remember them talking, you know, discussing ideas of how to build this thing. And the result, I think, is really nice. Because I imagine it was pretty tough to come, you know, he needed to be white because he's all white and furry, and we just don't have anything really white and furry. And the closest was this, and I think it works out in how they positioned everything. The horns end up looking like claws, and of course they've got that awful looking Chupacabra skull for the face. Just works really well. I think they did a good job considering the parts that we have available and everything. And of course the corpses really work nicely here, the really disgusting ones. You see how I mean about the corpse of the Chimera? It doesn't look as grotesque as the others. These, like, they have gaping holes in their gut and everything, and it's really nasty looking. But the Chimera just looks like it got beat up a little. And I honestly forget what they said they used for the stalactites. Let me think. I'm trying to think. I think they said it was the pillars for the Orin. I think they have one out here that I can show you. See? No, it might have been on the other plot that I'm thinking of, but it's the ornate one. It's got like a big round bottom, and it comes up to this little point, and they just used the one part for the stalactites or stalagmites, whatever you want to call them. But it's a really nice little thing. So this is a super duper fun plot to come visit, especially if you're a Star Wars fan, but even if you aren't, it's a great scene. There have been others that have worked on Star Wars themed plots, and they've done a great job too. But at least now we have one on EU Exile side that we can, point people to if they're looking for something fun. But this is Johnny Alpha's Battle on Hoth plot. So that's it for this week. Again, I'm hoping to bring you more winter-esque plots. I've got a listing of several more, but a lot of them are not as far along as these. I think most of them will all be works in progress, at least until after the contests are winding down, because a lot of them are busily working on getting them ready for the contests, but have yet to finish them off. But hopefully some of those will come further along, and I'll be more comfortable with showing them. I don't want to show them like, really just bare scraps, but as it gets closer and closer to the contest deadlines, I'm expecting to be, there to be more and more people's plots either being ready or opening up, which are already ready. Because a lot of them are keeping it private because they don't want to exactly share what they're doing just yet. But for sure, it's like I said, I'm not looking expressly for Winterfest plots. I'm just looking for Winter-esque plots. And I will hopefully be able to bring you at least a few each week for the month of December. I'm not going to play favorites as far as, if we're going to go to Dominion or if we're going to go to Exiles. It's really just going to be determined by how many I can find on each faction. So I'll be keeping my eye out for that. If you happen to know of any that I haven't showcased yet, and you think that it would fit for what I'm looking for, feel free to let me know. You can message me on Twitch, Twitter, in the forums, in-game, whichever way is easiest for you, and I'll be happy to check those places out, and I will, write them up on the list if I feel like they fit, and hopefully we get a lot of good plots to check out this month, and maybe, if nothing else, inspire some ideas for your own. Even if you don't have a winter plot, maybe some kind of build will trigger an idea for you for something of your own. But again, for those that are regular watchers, reminder that I will be permanently moving the Wednesday tours from the afternoon to the morning on Wednesdays. The day's going to stay the same, but the time frame is going to change. Because I'm just finding that the afternoons has become more and more problematic with the regular maintenance that Carbine settles on. It's usually right in that window that I plan for the tours. So rather than constantly doing early show today, I'm just going to move it permanently out to Wednesday morning. It won't be at a set hour. It'll be anywhere between 8 and 11, more than likely, but and I know that might not be suitable for everybody, if they really want to kind of schedule around it, but that's the best I can do, and I hope you guys will join me even still. Reminder again, we are unveiling the holiday Advent house thing each day. Today's was a holiday wreath. And yesterday's was a candy cane. So if you're looking forward to seeing those, be sure and join us tomorrow as we'll be unveiling day number 3. We will probably be going into either we'll be working on the beach house for my mains plot, or we'll be heading over to my alts to give a little holiday decoration on that plot. One of the two. I'm not sure what we'll be doing tomorrow. It just depends on my mood. But definitely, you're welcome to drop by if you have time and you feel like it and you're interested in what the heck I'm doing. It's always fun to have people come in and have a chat with me. Um, in the meantime, I hope you guys have a great day. I'm hoping most of you are avoiding the cooties that have been going around. Like I said, I've caught another one, so my throat's all sore, and I think I was running fever yesterday, although I wasn't like, dripping sweat or anything, but I'm constantly chilled. Right now I'm able to go without sleeves, but we've got the temperature up in the house, so I'm feeling pretty comfortable now. But yesterday I was like bundled up like it was, freezing inside the house. And my husband and son were like, what's your problem? I was like, I'm cold. I gotta have my blanket, and I had my hoodie on, and even with the hood on, and I was just all bundled up. Um, Lots of congestion and stuff, and that's just thank you to my son because he caught a cootie, and he's been home. Well, he came home yesterday, and he'll be home for the next couple of days. Uh, so I guess it's just a really bad season for us, sick wise, because we've been catching everything that's been floating by. But I hope you have fun. I enjoyed showing the plots, and I know that the builders had fun making them, so I hope you enjoyed them too. And I'll see you later. Bye bye.